What's happening, YouTubers? Want to do a beginner axe video. I actually just got into bushcraft a little bit and camping with my son, and I bought a kukri and a knife, and I also bought an axe to bring along just to have some tools when we were out camping. So I didn't want to spend too much in the beginning, and I did some research and I came up actually with this CRKT tomahawk. I kind of like the look. I like the idea of having a hammer to bang in steaks. Kind of like a tool for some heavier wood processing. Put a little bit of paracord wrapping on the bottom to stop it from sliding out of my hand when I'm swinging with one hand. Kind of thins out and feels like it wants to come out of my hand. So I wasn't too happy with that. So I did a wrap. I drilled a hole, put a lanyard in there, and then I heard a little bit about the head possibly coming loose. So I wrapped some paracord right underneath and cinched it up nice and tight. I guess it looks pretty decent. So this is my first axe, and I also bought a folding bow saw, which I was very impressed with for bigger wood. And I used that mainly on our first camping trip, which brought me to think that maybe I needed to bring the saw more often with me and use the kukri for the smaller wood and branches and stuff like that. So we went on another expedition to a highly populated place with multiple campsites around the lean-to on public land. And when we got there, we just went for the day, build a fire, cook some lunch, hang out, and relax. And I found that all the smaller wood had been processed, and there was nothing but big logs left to use, fallen dead big timber, maybe 10, maybe 12 inches diameter. So a pretty decent piece of wood. And I had the bow saw, which was somewhat of a struggle getting through pieces of wood that big. So I decided to go out and buy a council axe, which is the woodcraft axe, which is beautiful. I haven't used it yet, but the weight, the size of the head, the length of the shaft made me think that it's going to be really good when we go back there and camp out and need to process bigger wood. Just to let you know, I am new at this. I've done a lot of research. Grew up my whole life out in the outdoors, but finally I've gotten the right tools for the job. So I also put this shock cord on there just to lock it on if it gets loose. Treated the handle. I'm going with the method of doing putting boiled linseed oil on it once a day for a week, once a week for a month, and once a month for a year, and then once a year after that. And I'm done with the first week. See, those grains are really nice in there. And it's a pretty good job up top. The mushrooming is good. There are no spaces whatsoever in there. Hope everybody's getting a good look at that. I'm trying. So I watched some videos on how to take care of your axe, and I thought, being the crazy person I am, that I would get another hatchet somewhere in between, but didn't want to spend the money on a Grand Forest Brooks or Holtzfors Brooks. So I did a little research and found the Husqvarna came in pretty good on the ratings. So I went and bought this Husqvarna, and the great thing I think about it is I bought it to kind of redo and make my own, but was expecting a decent axe from the get-go. Like I said, I don't know much about these, but it looks like there's some space right in there. I don't know how detrimental that is in holding the head on and not coming loose. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this, but obviously, yeah, it's very hard. There's another spot right in there where, not light, but there's some space in there for sure. So anyway, I'm proud of this axe. It's still kind of in the workings. When I got it, I sanded down the handle, and I'm on my second coat of boiled linseed. The handle was not so great. It's rough, some nicks in it, small chips. And I watched a video of a guy who shined the front. So I went and bought some sandpaper up to 1500 grit, and I don't have an orbital sander, I have a palm sander, so I put it on there and tried. It came very beaten up. Not beaten up, but there were some harsh marks from a file in here, and I did the best I could to you could see the small burrs and everything. It's an axe. I'm not really that worried about it, but I love the way the shiny background and the stamped logo stand out from each other. And I did some fine sharpening. It's pretty sharp right now. It's really sharp. And the handle, it turned out beautiful. The grains are very good. I don't know what that hole is, but you could see how tight they are. Came out real nice. So the best thing of all is that I've made this mine, and it's very, very nice. And I haven't used it yet. I just got it a few days ago. But I'm excited. We'll be heading out in a couple of weeks on a trip. Came with this nice leather sheath. It looks like it's very supple. The button is very good, but in some of the reviews I've heard that it stretches over time. So again, just made a little piece of shock cord. I didn't want to drill into it or anything, and I just kind of snap around it, and then I just bring it over and put it on the back of the axe, even down here, just so I don't lose it. I hate to lose it. But anyway, that's my kind of beginner feedback. This axe didn't come in as nice as everyone else says in the videos I've seen, but as an end result, it's very pretty. I didn't put too much time and effort into it, maybe like 2 or 3 hours, maybe like 2 hours. But that's it. So if you have any input for me, I'd greatly appreciate it, because like I said, I'm new to this. Put some butcher's wax also on the sheath. You can see I just touched it before and I got that. so it is pretty sharp. And I'll come back after some time, do a follow-up review. I also wanted to mention that I do still like to leave this pitting in here. To me, it gives the axe some nice character, and gives it almost like an ancient look. All right, guys, have a good one, and hit subscribe, give me a like, definitely at least give me some feedback if there's anything you think I could do a little better with this axe.